They don't give their decorators a chance to create and show them what they can prove.
We haven't yet started.
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're ready.
we are ready. Hi, my name is Jeff. I am a photographer. Today I'm hosting my friends at iCandy, Shamim and Hawa. Yeah, good to have you. Good to have you. We're talking wedding decor. Wedding decor, and who better to have a conversation with than these two? I want to say, first of all, I love what you do.
Thank you.
I love what you do. I am a big fan. I like that every time I come on set and we're working together, I'll be thinking, maybe they're going to do the same thing, and it's always different. It's beautiful. I've always wanted to ask, who comes up with the themes? That, but also, where do you guys get your inspiration?
Inspiration. Sometimes it's driven by the client, and sometimes we talk about it between me and Shamim, and inspiration comes from all over. Buildings, how beautiful things are. Very many things inspire us. The colors, nature.
Oh, I see you like color.
Yes.
You like color.
Nature, sculptures. Sometimes we look at a sculpture and we're like, that, the way it's folding, that would be nice to interpret it in maybe the walkway or maybe the ceiling. Definitely, inspiration is all over.
So a client comes to you and they say, okay, let's say, I'm already married, so I can, let's say someone, Hakram came and said they wanted to get married.
Where do we start?
Where do you start? So there's many times people don't have an idea. There are those who have ideas, and there's many ideas. So where do you start?
First thing that we would like to do, first thing we always want to do is we want to see what the client is. And is that client extra? Is that client simple? Because some people know these words, but they don't know themselves. A client will say, me, I'm simple. And then you ask them to share some pictures of what they think is simple. And then me and Shamin realize, she's not simple. She's not simple. Everything she has sent is extra, above and beyond. Huge flowers, huge expression of color. So we'll actually explain to that person, you actually don't fall in the category of simple. You're here. That's where we start from. They share a few pictures they think is beautiful, they think is simple, they think is extra. And then with those pictures, they let us know what client we're dealing with, what bride we're dealing with. Because sometimes even these brides don't even know.
Then you advise them?
So when we look at different images of what they've shared, we pick out the things that we feel has been repeated in their sending of these pictures. We feel like this client has sent this and it kind of looks like this and it kind of looks like this. So we kind of pick out all those different aspects, and then me and Shamim sit down and we're like, we like where this is going. This is somehow different. Maybe we should do this. So we lead the client as the client leads us. Yeah.
Yeah, but also with what they share, we're able to tell. You asked about inspiration. So usually when a client picks certain pictures, some clients are very different. They'll send you things and you can't tell what exactly they want based on what they've shared. So what we do is we'll ask the client, what do you like about these particular pictures? So with them explaining what they like about those particular pictures, we're able to come up with something that's tailored to them, because everybody is different. Some weddings, people will walk in and say, but iCandy, today we don't understand what they've done. Then other weddings, other people will say, wow, it was very beautiful. Then some weddings, the bride is very happy, but her parents are not happy. Then some weddings, the parents are very happy, the bride is like, but Shamim, this is what I asked for, what is this? So sometimes it's very confusing. So we didn't always ask for these pictures from brides. We thought, if the bride says, I want blue and pink, just do blue and pink and let them have it. But there are many, many factors that influence the final look of the event. So we started to ask for inspirations and pictures from the bride to help us with that process, narrow down on what theme we're going to do for the bride and what look we're going to create. So when it comes to the theme, how do we decide on what theme? It depends on the colors. It depends on the pictures the bride has shared. All these things guide us to the final look we're going to create for someone.
I'm also really happy that you asked about that, because talking to clients, we found that clients are very hesitant to share. They're not forthcoming when it comes to sharing. So that is one of the reasons. So brides out there, that is one of the reasons why we ask you to share pictures. So it's very good that you talked about it, because it makes it easier for them to understand why we ask them to share these pictures. So we kind of see what kind of person you are. We see who we're dealing with. We get to know you, what you like. Because in the very end, we've noticed that this has served us well. I can honestly tell you,
More accurate.
it's more accurate. I can honestly tell you that almost zero to no client has said, I don't like what you've produced. I'm not happy.
This is not what I
This is
asked
not what
for.
I asked you for.
And we had a lot of that in the past.
Yes. So this is clear that this works. So brides out there, keep note. Yes.
So I noticed you guys work with the client for a long time, because you mentioned, a bride comes in and books, then there's conversations that follow to get the idea of what the client wants. How then is your booking process?
Oh, it's actually, all this talking that you've seen is mostly through WhatsApp at the moment. Because we don't meet clients at the very initial beginning. We meet clients after we've talked about the wedding and about the event a lot more. So that in this initial meeting, we noticed that when we used to meet client initially, like you come in, you want to meet us, and it's straight, the meetings were too long. The clients were tired, we were tired, and you're just going around and around. But now when we meet and we've already had that discussion online, it's narrowed down, it's precise, and it's short.
Very conclusive.
It's
because
very
then
conclusive.
You're finishing properly. You're talking budget. You're talking, I prefer this to that. You're describing what your quotation has, because they receive a quotation before
Right
the
after,
initial
yes.
meeting.
Initial meeting, they get a quotation.
So you're able to go through the quotation item by item and explain what you're charging the client for. So at least it's a better meeting, even for them. Because at this then, when they're shopping, they know exactly what Icandy is giving them versus whoever they're going to meet.
Makes sense. So when should one book? If say my wedding is in August, when should I book? When should I think of booking? If my wedding is in June, when should I think of booking?
It's a tricky question, but then I think it has like 2-3 answers. One, there are clients who know what they want. They can make a deposit and they know what they want. They're like, you know what? The only person who I know can pull off what I want is Icandy. They can make a deposit. Even before we meet, even before we do what, they make a deposit. But then there are clients who they want to shop around. Yeah. They want to shop around. They want to compare budgets. They want to look at different things. They want to see all these different, get a feel of the decorator and the market. Those ones, they can, I think, start. If the wedding is in August, January is very good to start, because then they have a longer time to deal with all these different decorators, because we're many.
I think it's luck, mostly. Because you see, there are seasons that are very busy.
Yeah.
Then there are
I
seasons
mentioned
that are
August
very
because
chill.
August is
Yes.
crazy.
August is
This
crazy.
December.
December. And by the way, Jan is also
Jan,
very busy.
Jan is an overflow
Weirdly.
of December.
And it never used to be.
Yeah.
Yes, Jan is an overflow of December. So when I'm booking clients, usually I'll tell them, because some clients are like, oh, how soon should I book? When should I book my date? Blah, blah, blah. I usually tell the clients it is luck, because I don't want to hold people's money. Then they change their minds later and say, I don't want to work with you guys. I've got somebody else. The market is changing a lot. There are many people in the market. You want the clients to get a feel of the wedding season that's before their wedding.
Yeah.
For example, I prefer clients to see December, Jan, Feb before they book for August. Because in December, Jan, and Feb, a decorator might do something and it's really beautiful. And she's like, I really like this. That's what I want. But then you've already deposited with Icandy. Then she's going to come to Icandy and push us to do that. because of what she has seen. So brides, I feel like brides need to take note of the wedding seasons. Let's say right now you have a December bride. There's a bride who's getting married in December and she hasn't booked her decorator yet. It's a good time for her to look at May, June, July. Let her look at the weddings, let her look at all the decorators, what they're producing. Let her identify what she likes about this person and the other person and what she doesn't like. Then go to the meeting and ask, guys, you did this, I liked this part and I didn't like this. Can I have this but with ABCD? And figure out whether they can be able to do that for her. So some seasons are busy, some dates are busy, some dates are not. Basically, it's dependent on the bride. But if the bride is sure it has to be Icandy, like how I said, they can book their date so they're sure that when they come, it's still there. But if a bride is 50-50, I don't think there's a time limit because there are brides who come a month to the wedding and their date is free.
And their date is free, and we're able to
And
pull
we're
off
happy
whatever
to take their wedding on. Yes. Then there are brides who come, Bambi, and they really, really want you. They understand what you're producing, but the date is booked.
Too booked.
Because right now, December, we have like one date left in December. All the December dates are taken. So some brides will come for December and it will be impossible to take them on. Yeah, so I think it depends on the season.
It's good that you also talked about the season, because some brides don't understand, because for them it's a one-time event in their lives. So some brides don't understand the wedding seasons. When you talked about December, they wonder why December is so expensive and why it is busy. And but mostly it's because of expense. So it's also because it's very competitive.
It's very competitive.
So sometimes it's good for them to know that December, August, sometimes even November.
I wanted to talk about budgets later. Budgets, because there's something there. But for now, I think, how would you describe the wedding industry right now? First of all, comparing it against a backdrop of how many years ago? When did it join the market?
When did we join what? Weddings?
Yeah, weddings.
2018.
18, eh?
2018.
Yeah. 2018, yeah. When you came in and what it is now, what can you tell us about how it is growing, if it is growing?
Okay, so I think when we came into weddings, it was I think things were a bit different. I'll say it in the perspective of us, how we got in.
Yes.
When we got into weddings, people were not particular about how their colors are matched. And people were not particular about colors in general. Someone would say, I just want something beautiful, because at least those are the first clients we got. We got only, I think, one client who told us, I want white and greenery or something like that for an anniversary, a wedding anniversary. But when we came into the market, we used to ask ourselves, me and how I used to look at people's weddings, and we used to say, but why are these flowers this color and this is this color?
Or why is this wedding having all those colors?
Yes, why does it have
all those colors?
So many colors in one
And we just
one
never
space.
used to understand that.
And we didn't understand, because I always felt like if they just pull out that one color from everything, this wedding will look very beautiful, like way more beautiful. Like it's a beautiful wedding, but why is this hot pink there? If they pulled this hot pink out of that wedding, this wedding would look even better. So I think that's what we struggled with initially. So when we came into the market, we said, you know what, this is what we're going to address when we get into the market. We're going to try and do weddings following the theme from every single aspect of the wedding. The walkway, the ceiling, the tables, the high table, we want it to be like the same theme all through. So that has been the difference. Right now, it's really like you walk into a wedding and you know what the bride was going for immediately. So the market has changed in that aspect.
And another thing I'd like to add on, but in my perspective, being that I was a photographer and I used to shoot weddings like all the time, there's something that I noticed. I noticed that back then, each decorator had a look. You could look at a wedding and be like, oh my God, that is this, and that is it. But now lately, it has changed so much that it's like as if everybody is trying to emulate a given look. And that is something that I had noticed that has changed. Back then, it was cookie cut. Like you would know, okay, that is... Decorators were allowed to have their own different personalities and their own different description of what beautiful is. But lately, decorators are being forced to do a given look.
Yeah.
And that is something that's...
Is that something the client should change? Is that something?
Yes. That is something that clients should change. They should let decorators be able to express themselves and pick a decorator where you see. Because that's why decorators put work out there. That's why they have pages. That's why they have to trust them and look at what they produce. And if they don't feel like, okay, this decorator's look is not me, they leave her and then they look for somebody else who's actually going to produce, than you taking whatever you've seen and then pushing it on a given decorator without going through what her capabilities are and what her look is. But it is true that now everything has a certain look. Sometimes you can't even tell who decorated what.
Yeah.
So I've lost the individuality.
Individuality, their creativity.
That most of the clients have made them.
If we send the clients up, so if we send clients to the pages of these people, your
different
pages,
people,
and yet your work is, like you mentioned, almost the same, because clients are bullying, or I'm the one who's using that word, not them. Clients are bullying the decorators to use literally the same template. How do we get away from it?
I think by continuing to create. Like, all of us need to fight for our individuality.
Yes.
All of us need to fight for what's important to us. Like, maybe for us, what's important is the way colors are matched, how, like the detail. We want certain details of our wedding to look a certain way. Everybody has their thing. I think if decorators were all like interviewed and asked, they would all tell you, Jeff, this is what's important to me. I want to make sure the wedding looks like ABCD. But again, it's like every other business, even clothes and whatever. People sell the same things.
People take different designers' clothes to another designer to actually produce for them what the other designer has produced. So
it cuts across everything.
But I guess maybe it's also for the decorators and different people to put their foot down. I'm like, no, this is someone's work. I'm not going to replicate someone's work. I'm not going to have that look. This is my look. Do you like it? This is what I can do for you. This is me.
Or for them to actually sell their look.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think if as creatives we thought in that lines would be, because it's also on our end. It's clients are boxing us in this corner, and it's not nice. It's sad. I really just hope that us, the people in the industry, would, like how I said, like put our foot down and say, oh, by the way, this is what I do. Come to me or
find somebody else.
Find someone else. Because when we all are trying to do the same thing, then there will be no eye candy coming out to do something different. There will be no, and it's sad. I hope we change that. I hope appeal to the clients and talk to them how.
and brides be, more open-minded. Don't be so closed up and you're like, this is what I want, this is what you're supposed to do for me, this is what. Be more open-minded.
You want a surprise at your wedding.
You don't want a surprise at your wedding, yeah? But then you can look at these different decorators and know, even you, Shamim, if it was your wedding, you know who's going to do your wedding. If you look at all these different decorators, you know in your heart that this person can pull off what I want, right? Because now, me, I know.
It's confusing.
Me, I know. Don't think about price. Don't think about budgets. Think about the look and think about what you'd want to see on your wedding, and think about the person who can pull it off.
But I think personality-wise, we're all different. She's always been that way. She knows what she wants, exactly what she wants, and from where, like, she knows her stuff. Me, I can be wishy-washy. I can be a bit wishy-washy. Oh, I want this. Then I see something nice and change my mind.
So you're the client you're talking about.
So I'm that client.
Yes, this is the client we were talking about earlier. Who's going to change her mind?
I understand those
Oh,
clients.
by the way, we have those brides who will come and she wants a certain thing. And she's so sure she wants this. Then another decorator does a wedding that's like crazy. And then she starts sending you those pictures. And you're like, I thought and you're confused.
But I understand those clients as well. That's why for us we have
And I think
that
that's why I don't
policy
understand those clients.
where
That's why for me, I do
but
not
this is
understand.
so different from what she sent us, and I'm like, okay, it changes. Sometimes you change your mind, but that's what that's how we accommodate clients
But
these
then
days.
also, at what point are they allowed to
To make
change,
changes,
to make
yes,
changes?
that's what I was going to talk about.
Please.
That's why with us, we give them till about, depending on how complicated their initial concept is, we give them about up to a month to their wedding to make any changes they want to make. Yes, as long as they haven't made the big deposits, we can move things around until maybe a month too. To be safe, it's a month too. But sometimes the changes she comes with are 2 weeks too. You're able to accommodate. It's not going to change anything. You have the staff. Sometimes we let them make the changes. Because again, it's just one day in their lives. You need to have a bit of flexibility. Yeah.
One day in their lives brings me
It's
to
very important.
budgets.
Oh,
Budgets. How do you deal with expectations and
Versus budget.
reality,
Versus.
against the budgets? Because you what I see for my end, yeah, you've placed yourselves as luxury wedding decorators. You are for classy luxury, and luxury is quite expensive. So how do you move around that?
I guess it's not easy because everyone who sees something, like most brides, when they see something, they want that thing. Depending on how the budget works and how the budget dictates, they want what they want. So it's a battle that me and Shamim keep having to fight and trying to let brides know that this is the expectation of what you have actually paid for. And it's a struggle. It's definitely a struggle because there are people who would want to pay 30 million, like Shamim had mentioned, for a 250 budget. And you cannot make that realistic.
Can't make it.
You
work.
can't, even if you do it, because you have people to pay salary, you have things to move, you have rent, you have all these other things. So it doesn't work. So I think, and I honestly think, it has crossed my mind whereby the luxury bit came in because we put in a lot more than what the client has actually paid for. That's how we moved up on that stage. But it wasn't intentional that, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to produce. It's just a thing that we wanted to produce something that a bride will be so proud of. And then we ended up actually putting in more than what the bride has paid because of all these different costs that come up. But it's not something that we set out to do. And also, of course, the creativity. With creativity comes expenses. The more you become creative and put in these things and make everything look beautiful, of course, the budget also has to go up. But it's a struggle.
Also, clients sometimes think having certain items at their weddings is a must, or if they don't have them, their weddings won't look good. So I think it's up to us to show them what a wedding without those items looks like and what a wedding with those items looks like. But because they are not on site with us, they don't really see the difference. So that's
It's
what
very
I
hard to
struggle with the most.
explain.
Yeah, because you'll find like, for example, let's say glass tables are 200K or 300K a table. Then a normal table is going to cost them about 15,000 for just table linen. A client is going to say, no, I want a glass table. Then she'll leave the nice chairs maybe for a glass table, or she'll forego maybe something like part of the ceiling for a glass table. And in your mind, you're just struggling. You're trying to explain to her that you'd rather have this than that, because this is not going to affect the final look, but this is going to affect the final look. So sometimes expectation, budget, I think clients need to listen to their decorators because there's certain items that are not that necessary. Gold cutlery, for example. Yes, it makes the wedding look more beautiful, but is it going to take away from your wedding? Not necessarily. The final look, the pictures you're going to stay with are not going to change because you didn't have a gold fork. But they will change a bit if you don't have maybe walkway flowers or your ceiling is half of what it should have been. So that's sometimes it's hard to explain that to clients. Then expectations versus reality in terms of the pictures. They'll look at someone's wedding and say, this is like, look, I'm expecting. How much was it? I'll tell you it was 200 million. You're like, okay, I have 60. What can we do? So if you give me 60, then if you've paid 60, it means you're not going to get what this person of 200 got. But you'll also get something good. But what are your expectations in reality to your 60? You should also lower your expectations. If your decorator advises you that, okay, fine, this wedding had a lot of florals and the colors are maybe, it's purple. And you say, okay, I want something that beautiful in purple, but I have only 60M. They're going to take things out, definitely. It's not going to be exactly what it was. So if you tell your decorator, I want this decor, and she tells you it's 200 and you have 60, lower your expectations immediately. And start asking the important questions. What do I get when I pay the 60? What will my wedding look like? Can you show me an example of what the 60M looks like? If you're not happy with that, mention what you're not happy with. Don't just run. Mention what you're not happy with. Because you may find that you're saying, I don't like the way these flowers look, and that's something that can be changed. Or I don't like these chairs, and maybe that will add an extra 2M to your budget, and it won't be so hard to make that change for you. So again, Decor is very detailed. It depends on very, very many things. The prices we have range from 35 million upwards to as high as it can go. So where do you fit? Yes.
You said 35 million.
Yes, 35M.
Many people who are watching this would disagree.
No, we start at 35. But challenge is when people see the weddings we can produce at 35, they don't want them.
They don't want them.
Yes, they don't want them because people are more extra these days.
Yeah.
But there's also something I'd like to add that is something in relation to expectations versus in relation to color. There are some weddings we've done and the budget is the same, but the difference is color. And then the bride will be like, you guys, I'm not happy. Or okay, I'm not necessarily I'm not happy, but they kind of like feel disgruntled a bit, but the budget was the same. Some brides don't know that color dictates a lot with the look. So we've tried to explain that to brides that now, like white and gold weddings. White and gold weddings are more expensive than, for example, if you say a purple wedding. Yes. Brides need to remember that color contributes a lot on the general outlook of a wedding. We've done a wedding whereby one is white and gold and the other one is like purple and green. And the difference, you can think it's like night and day. Same budget.
So this is information that you provide with the client when they reach out.
Yes. But then but some of them are real stuck, but me, I want white and gold. And you're like, white and gold is nice, but then for you to really, really, really enjoy it, you have to be at this level. But then sometimes they don't understand.
You have to add this, you have to add that.
You have to add this.
Yes, for it to stand out. Because it
And
can
compete.
be very plain.
For it to stand out and compete with another wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. I am being schooled. I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Give me 2 or 3. I remember how I think mentioned listen also. Sham said listen to the decorator. What are the offhand 2 things you'd like to tell a client?
Talking to some clients, sometimes it's good. Like it's your day. Do some homework. Find out what you like. Don't just go and tell a decorator, me, I don't know what I want. Sometimes it's good, but it's only good if your budget is good. So do some homework. See what you like. see what appeals to you, and then soldier ahead and into all these different decorators.
Something I would say to brides. A big budget is not necessarily an absolute the best wedding in terms of decor. Sometimes, just because you're coming to us with less, let's say a 60M wedding or a 40M wedding, it does not mean you need to get to the 200 for you to have a beautiful wedding. They need to be more open-minded when it comes to the advice we give them about the look that we're going for their weddings. Because some brides will come to you and say, ekitegeeza nze temujja kunkolera, temujja kumpa kino, temujja kumpa, you will not give me maybe, just because she doesn't have, let's say, full floorboarding, it doesn't mean that her wedding will not be nice. They need to be more open-minded when it comes to their budgets. When your budget is this much, what is the decorator suggesting that you do in terms of decor? I think that's something that's very important for brides to think about. If you don't have a lot of money and you have less, it doesn't mean your wedding will be ugly. It just means it will not be that extra. Yes.
Just talk to your decorator.
Yes, talk to your decorator.
And once they
see
hear
what
that
can
wedding won't be
produce for
extra,
you.
they are demoralized.
They switch off.
They
Yes.
switch off.
They switch off. They switch off. No, I want this, I want that. Give your decorator a chance to create something beautiful for you within your budget.
Within your budget.
Yes,
Very
within your
important.
budget.
Very important. And that's what you mentioned earlier, how people should be quite more forthcoming, because it could be 60, but then what they want, when you advise them, it's just an extra 2-3 million.
Yes.
And instead of running, you'd rather they stay and tell you what they...
Yeah, what they would have wanted. But of course with flexibility.
Yeah, with flexibility.
Yes.
It's very,
There
very
should
important.
be flexibility is very important. Let us remove this. Let us remove that. Once they hear, let us remove this. They feel like their wedding is going to the dogs. But then, with everything you want, you have to forego certain aspects of the look.
So, do you guys have any challenges, or you have it easy? Yeah. Do you have it easy?
I don't think there's anyone who has it
besides-
easy if they're business owners.
Is there any challenges that could be a decorator watching this that you know can be better? It's a challenge, but you know something can be done. Or could be a client and you want to tell a client some things you've faced. Is it the venues that they give you space late? Is it, I don't know.
There are definitely challenges. We face a lot of challenges, especially like upcountry events, like the bad roads, like we face many challenges. Also having to like deal with like our employees being taken or running away. Like the challenges just keep coming. It's not something that you have off head, but they are definitely there. You get.
There are challenges. But on site, and mostly with clients, I think the main challenges could be things like maybe agreeing on setup days, and they don't actually relay that information to their hotels. But what they don't understand, it affects the final look of their wedding. We have a plan. We've set up a plan for their weddings. We say, okay, we're going to start work on Thursday morning. That means the tent has to be there by Wednesday evening. So we'll go to site Wednesday evening, but start work Thursday morning. So we'll schedule ourselves and say Thursday we're doing this area, Friday we're doing this area, and Friday night we're completing and doing a video Friday night. But then the client says, oh, I forgot to tell the hotel. But you've paid all this money. How do you forget something like that? Because then we shall finish your wedding by morning, but you've missed out on a night video, which you cannot get the next day because there'll be people seated in the decor. Then you've missed out on that maybe photography in the morning. If you are going to photograph before church, you've missed out on that session because we didn't have enough time. So I think for us, it's giving us a heads up. Clients forget to give us a heads up and say, okay, the hotel refused, or they charged me more money and I didn't want to pay for it, or I can't afford it. Because we're human beings like them. We understand if budgets are stringent, we understand. That's the thing clients don't understand. They think it's all money, 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 money. No, but we understand if the budgets are stringent and you're not going to pay for an extra day, let us know so we plan in advance. Yes. Or we make some changes in the concept
In
that
the
we
concept
had
of,
created.
yes, because some concept need a lot more time.
Yes, more time. So we can say, okay, instead of putting this here, let's change to this item. It's faster to install. It's things like this. Clients need to communicate with us because we all want the same goal. We want a beautiful wedding. Yes, we want you to be happy on your big day. So I think it's communication.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful. You guys keep saying communication a lot from when it started. Communication. I really wish clients would get that. Who is an Icandy bride or groom? Who is an Icandy client?
From the get-go, we definitely appreciate clients who know what they want. We notice that we enjoy clients who come and they know what they want. The other ones who don't know what they want, we also create with them, but we believe that people who understand the art, who like beautiful things, who are able to express themselves.
And also maybe the brides who want value for money. If you know you're willing to spend a certain amount of money, or there's a certain amount of money, okay, whatever amount of money it is you're spending on decor, you want value for that money. I think that's our bride. Then also maybe the brides who want something different. Someone
Who value
says,
creativity.
Who value creativity. Those are also our brides. The brides who say, okay, I want something different. This is what I'm looking at having. Can you create it for me? We are the people that they need to speak to, because I think we invest a lot in creating. So the bride would really be happy with us.
Oh, that's nice. That's lovely. That's lovely. We come to the end of our sit down. I've enjoyed the conversation. We should have more of these. We should have more.
We're definitely looking to be, let people know.
Yeah, people need. I feel like you had a lot of information to give, but it all can be squeezed in these 40 minutes. That's why more of this needs to happen. Thank you so much. We appreciate allowing us to put these cameras here. You're always behind the scenes.
Thank you for having us.
If you have any last words you want to communicate to our people, please.
You mentioned something about us talking about where we see the decoration industry going and where we think it should be or what we would want. Me as personally, as a person who we believe we're going to be here for a while, we believe we're still going to produce beautiful things. We would definitely want to see individuality when it comes to decoration. That whole thing that, oh my God, me if I want this, that is the person I'm going to go to. Me if I want this, that is the person I'm going to go to. We would like that to come back, and we don't go back to the cookie cutting situation whereby everybody is, we do definitely, there's market for everyone. We believe that there's market for everyone, and that's why we struggle to be different. We struggle to be different because we believe that people will notice, clients will notice that we're different. So we would definitely want to see the industry go back to whereby it is praised to be different. And it's not frowned upon.
I like that. Should tweet that.
Yes. So that is where we definitely see and hope that we go.
Nothing much, but for our clients this year, we can't wait to have you. And please make time to take decor shots, because that's where we shine. We hope you have a lovely planning of your weddings. And Jeff, thank you for having us.
Welcome.
It's been a pleasure, and
been a
it's been
pleasure.
nice. Yes.